These are the mugshots of Carl Ferrer, James Larkin, and Michael Lacey. They are the owners of Backpage.com. They are the new faces of pimping and sex trafficking in the new millennium. This movie is about the murderous events that happen to those who have used this site, Backpage.com. Warning. This film has some very graphic images that some may find hard to watch. Chocolate Rain Concepts has produced a film that captures the underbelly of society and the difficult language and violence that comes with sex trafficking and sex exploitation. All comments and statements are of the guests that appear in this film. CRC does not condone nor condemn anyone's position.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have breaking news. The bodies of 4 African-American women were found in the trunk of 2 cars in Detroit, Michigan. One of the cars were discovered smoldering and 2 of the women were set on fire in the trunk. Authorities have arrested a black male named James Brown of Detroit, Michigan. Reports say that he met all 4 women through an online escort service named Backpage.com. BOP-TV has learned that Backpage.com was once owned by the Village Voice out of New York City. The Village Voice is considered one of the more progressive newspapers in the country. So their connection to Backpage.com seems odd. We now know that Mr. Brown invited all 4 of these women to his mother's home and suffocated them in her basement. When Mr. Brown was asked how did they all die while in his company, he gave a discombobulated answer. Mr. Brown admitted that all 4 women did, in fact, die in his home. But when pressed as to how this could have happened, at his court sentencing, he refused to address the families. He also refused to be present at victim impact statement. Mr. Brown's decision to be absent shows the world just how much of a coward he really is. When he was alone with the defenseless women, hardly 1/3 of his size, he was full of moxie and cold-blooded bravado. But when it was time for him to face the music from the families who came to defend the legacy of their loved ones, he retreated to the confines of his jail cell, a place where he will spend the rest of his natural life. We here at Black on Purpose Television extend our sincere condolences to the family of these 4 beautiful women. May all of them rest in peace. On a more personal note, I would like to say to Mr. Brown, may you, sir, bust hell wide open. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, America. I'm Kim Sanders, and this is breaking news from Black on Purpose Television. Now back to your film.
One of the worst sociopaths in U.S. history is James Brown. He's a 6'10", 300-pound monster out of Detroit, Michigan. We know James Brown invited 4 women over to his mother's house, took them down to the basement, where we believe he suffocated them to death. We do know that he took 2 of the bodies and burnt them up inside the trunk of a car. Mr. Brown admits that all 4 of these women came to his house. What he does not know is how they died. James Brown was sentenced to 4 consecutive life sentences. Once he arrived in prison, he was beaten within an inch of his life by inmates who found his crimes despicable.
What is Backpage? I'm not sure exactly what Backpage is.
Backpage is like, okay, Backpage to me is a website where you can find anything that's going on in the city, anywhere throughout the whole world. Backpage have jobs, it has free stuff on it, it has local businesses, parties, and then it has prostitutes, escorts, massage parlors, all that. So Backpage is basically a website where you can just find anything in your area.
I have heard that Backpage is a place where people or women are allowed to solicit for sex.
When I'm listening to that, I'm saying, I'm incensed. I'm the mother of 3 girls. They are all adults. They all live away from me, so I'm in a panic anytime I hear anything or see a story about some crazy. I just have to kind of shut it down sometimes so I won't stay in a constant state of panic. And then my next question is, when we think about, okay, so how far removed am I from reality? I don't know, maybe everybody else knew what Backpage was. You said Backpage to me, that meant nothing to me. I thought, yes. What is that?
Believe it or not, I did not know anything about Backpage until one of my friends brought it up to me, and it was another website for sex trafficking where women or young girls sell their bodies for sex and money.
I am generally familiar with Backpage as a kind of underground or a hard copy or internet service where you can engage or hire or find someone in the sex trafficking business. That's what my understanding is.
Yeah, fundamentally, I mean, Backpage is just Craigslist duplicated to a certain extent. The most notorious thing that I knew Backpage for, and the first time I was exposed to it, is one of my friends in school were talking about it as far as like when it came to like the girls marketing themselves for sex. I mean, that's the same way that I heard about Craigslist and the problem in it earlier. I go to a school that we're very keen on social justice. So like that was the commentary. It was about sex trafficking, like how we can fix that or we can resolve it. And that's the first time I've ever been exposed to Backpage. I have nothing else, don't know anything else about Backpage besides that.
Caliph told, I've been working on human sex trafficking for a while, but I just found out about Backpage in January, the beginning of January when he told me, so that was like January 1st. And I said, what the devil, where did Backpage come from and why did we know it? So we're going to start on that part when we get back because I made it my mission. That's why y'all are here. I said, oh, I'm exactly what I said. Oh, hell to the no. We're going to do something.
Backpage is an advertising site, simply put. Backpage, unlike many other sites, it's very similar to Craigslist. What Backpage has become famous for, however, is the escort section and the adult section of the site. It has made them extremely profitable. And so I consider Backpage the #1 pimp in the world today.
As far as we know, currently the Backpage president or CEO is a man named Kyle Fair. He's about 55 years old. Nothing much is known about him. Like I said, they're like cockroaches. They operate, in darkness, and he's an example of that. If you look at the picture on the internet of him, he looks about 20 years younger. He's about 55 years old. And he's sort of a front man because there's been other managing partners that have made money off this site. But he's must be making a lot of money because he's willing to put his name out there and in his picture as the face of Backpage. Carl Ferrer was arrested recently, and after an investigation conducted by the Attorney Generals of California and Texas, they concluded that Backpage was facilitating sex trafficking and that Kyle Fair was guilty of pandering and pimping. And there are two other men associated with the company, Jim Larkin and Michael Lacey. They're both in their late 60s. They were also arrested too.
The scary thing about Backpage.com is that they deal in the dark shadows of society. So many of our lawmakers have no idea what Backpage is. Once we introduced them to the site, their reactions were, well...
Looks, I see a number of African American women here. Looks like they are advertising. How old are they?
This?
Yeah.
Disgusting. This is disgusting, but I'm not surprised.
There have been 16 deaths in 3 years. Most Americans simply want to know who's holding them accountable.
Question that I have, though, is about Backpage in particular. That is, I'm sure it's a very profitable enterprise. They're not, Backpage is not doing this for charity. They're making money out of it, and and I know that there have been situations where other online procuring sites have been held accountable legally for allowing access to people who kill and abuse folk.
Backpage is not just dangerous for the women. Backpage is dangerous for our men. There's a couple young women up in Indiana that were robbing Johns. They would invite them to the hotel, and after they took their clothes off, they would rob them.
I know you're still messing around.
What? No, I'm not. What are you talking about?
You're just gonna sit there and lie to my face.
Look, okay? That's the past. That's over. I'm just dedicated to you now, okay?
Since when? Since when? After everything I've done for you, everything I do for you every day, this is all you repay me.
Listen, I understand that, baby. I appreciate it.
Do not touch me right now.
All I'm saying is, that's done. We are moving forward. Within our life, within our relationship.
I don't want to hear it. There's nothing you can tell me right now that's going to make up for what you did. And I know you're still doing it. There's nothing you can tell me right now.
You're not listening to me, okay?
Don't you dare raise your voice at me. You're going to screw up, and then you're going to raise your voice at me. You screwed up. You messed us up. We were fine.
How long are you going to harp on that, huh? How long? Everything I do for you, and I do for the kids.
So when you were on that site looking at those girls, that was for me? How was that for me? How did that help me? All that did was hurt me, wrecked our marriage. That's what it did. It didn't do anything for me. It helped you. You and your selfish needs. You.
Look, I done told you.
I told you don't raise your voice at me. Don't you dare raise your voice at me. Well, what are you doing?
Baby.
What in the world are you doing that you couldn't hear me?
I'm so sorry, baby. I was looking up some directions so I can, go to them saints that are sick. I just thought if I show my face, I fellowship with them, hopefully that'll aid him into a speedy recovery.
That's the part of your ministry that I love the most, baby. I've always wanted to be the first lady of the church with a God-fearing man that I can follow. I love you, baby.
Hello?
Hello, is this Rain Raw Dog?
Hey, baby. Yeah, it's me. How can I help you, Daddy?
Hey, sweetie. I would like to know if we can set up an appointment today, like in about an hour.
Sure, Daddy. How much time do you require? It's 100 for half hour, 150 for full. There's no kissing and no cuddling. That's too personal. Remember, we're here to get our freak on.
Not for a honeymoon.
Okay, well, I want a full hour, but you see, I have a special request.
Well, you need to know that special requests are an extra 100. What do you want extra?
Well, if you must know, I'm a sinner, and I just request that you beat me after we're finished. Like, beat me with a belt, just for my punishment.
Sure, Daddy. Whatever you want. It's your dime, honey.
Okay, great. Let me ask you a question. Why do you use the name Rain Raw Dog?
Because for 500, I'll lick on it raw, baby.
Oh, okay. So you won't kiss or cuddle with me because you said that's too personal. But you'll lick and blow me without protection? Okay, I'm not too comfortable with that, but it's nice to know. Thanks.
Hey, that's just my thing, baby. Why do you call yourself a sinner?
Well, because I'm a man of God, and I know I shouldn't be doing this. But you see, I have this sickness, and I call beautiful women such as yourself so I can purge myself.
Hey, Daddy, we all got issues. I love sex and money, so I dropped out of medical school for this extra $2,500 a weekend. No one's perfect but Jesus, right? Anyways, my address is 1128 Canton Road. I'll see you in an hour, baby.
Okay, I'll see you then. Thanks.
So is that lame coming over, baby?
Yeah, girl. He's a man with some deep issues. He's a pastor.
Don't they all have issues? What do we care? Just another weak-ass man looking to get off.
When are we gonna stop doing this? We've already made enough money. I really ain't trying to spend my life in jail for robbing these niggas.
Who these niggas gonna tell? These men are buying pussy. They called us looking to get a nut off. We didn't tell them to call, did we?
Yeah, but I hate sleeping with these lame ass niggas. They always want me to do all that freak shit.
Look, baby, in just a few more months, we will have enough money to stop. And then we can buy a house and get married. Besides, we're gonna give this man a threesome that he will never forget. And by the time we jack him, he won't even care.
Okay, girl. I love you.
I love you too, honey.
Father, please
Is that good to you, baby?
Oh, yeah, baby. Ooh, Lord have mercy.
So, we gonna need a little bit more money.
What? You ain't getting no more money.
But why, Daddy?
Because I've already paid you. That's why.
Oh, but we gonna need that money.
Look, I'm not giving you nothing.
Rain, what have you done?
First of all, it's scary for one, just the idea to think about that young kids could put themselves on the internet and advertise themselves to a free market. That's scary, number one. Now, as a lawmaker, I think this is definitely something that we must bring to an end.
Okay, so I have seen some photos on Backpage. They were shown to me, and I was alarmed at some of the things that I saw on Backpage because I did not think the purpose of it was for prostitution or solicitation.
The American teen is not confused at all about the popular services on Backpage.
Just opportunity, you know, people, it's the information age, they want everything right here, right now at your fingertips, so people don't want to really work for what they want, so you get promises of fame, fortune, anything that you want, and then you end up in that horrible lifestyle. But
Is it possible that the desire for money and fame has made Backpage so popular?
It's just a site that women go on, little girls go on to offer themselves to men for money. You know, people are hard up, and people and women doing anything to get money, just like men. They are doing anything to get a dollar. But what they fail to understand and realize is that when they go out here to make this money, that it could be the last money that they make.
Too many of us don't know this problem, and we don't know how to help and what to do. And so I really encourage people to try to get more involved, and as one of the other women said earlier, to mentor children, and to more than mentor, we've got these children that are lost. They're looking for acceptance, they're looking for love, they're looking for all of those things when they go and they put themselves on Backpage.
I think it's like the fact of just being the center of attention. You know, you have different men that find this interest in you that some people in your life may not have found that interest. And so you're like, oh my gosh, like he actually cares about me. So, you know, this is something that I should actually do. When it's not, they just want to use you and, you know, for what you can offer.
I think it's all about control. Like, I'm a firm believer that women have complete and utter control over their body and what they want to do. So if you like taking pictures like that, if you like feeling powerful like that, then you do you. But I think putting it on the internet like that, and it leaves yourself open for sex trafficking, people exploiting you like that. But it's about control. They see that page, they see that profile, they're like, oh, I control what I'm putting out and no one can do anything about it. When actuality, it's not. You're the one being exploited.
Two things that I think we need to do to solve this problem is not to only have isolated conversations with women. We know women get things done. However, men are the primary traffickers of men, of girls and boys. We need to have men telling men what to do. Steve Harvey does not need to tell me another thing about how to be a woman. He needs to tell his brothers what to do to be better men.
Right.
And not just Steve, but any man needs to tell other men that harming women, that buying sex for women is wrong.
Monitor those things online. Like you can get away with a lot online. You sell like illegal things all the time, so it's no different because it's easier access. Like I said, for people who are out there, you can meet anybody from around the world, or you know, just in your backyard that you never knew existed, and it's harder to track. You know, it's easier to get away with this stuff when it's online than on the street.
Backpage now shows you that you can, in a few minutes, sell whatever you want to sell in a matter of minutes. But it doesn't start there. This is not a class issue. This is not a north side of town, south side of town issue. And so what I've been doing now in DeKalb County, I found out, I started with DeKalb and now I'm going across the state, is in our homes when we're at work, our young girls now, the new little rave is called having twerk parties, strip parties. So what they do is they charge all the little boys a couple of dollars to come in the house. And then what they do is all the little girls in the house, these are people who live in the suburbs, and then they're twerking, they're dancing, they're doing all these little things, and whoever does the best that day gets the money. And then they'll set up again the very next, maybe the next day or the next week, and they just go from house to house in the suburbs. And none of us know this is going on because we're none of the wise ones. First of all, most of us are not on Snapchat. And then they do all this other little quick talking, other little download, all this little social media things, and we have no idea what they're doing because that's not even part of our world. And so it can disappear. And so now you have young girls who don't think that starting off with the twerk parties or I'll give you some head party. We don't understand that that's leading them into the life of trafficking. And then we fast forward a little bit. When you ask the little girl, do you think it is prostitution if you give a blowjob for $5? It's like, no, why would that be? You see?
We have a new generation that feels free to expose their bodies, even using language that we once considered to be very derogatory and subpar. The culture is become normalized, I think, through social media, or people feel as if they have permission because everybody else is doing it, and now you can see it through social media.
Look to are not us. They're not the grandparents. They know that that's not the right way, but the reality stars have become paramount in their lives, and they are emulating that behavior from the reality TV. They're all over social media. They follow them on their Instagram. They follow them on Facebook. So those have become the standard appeal to most of our young people.
That woman did. Today it's glamorized, and it's seen as there's lots of money to be made, and this in a capitalistic society, that's where we are. That it's more acceptable when you have it glamorized in terms of, I don't want to call out people's names to make them even more well known than they already are, but there are people out there that have TV shows, et cetera, who are making lots of money because they have prostituted themselves, basically. And so yes, there is a difference, and I think it goes to social media, it goes to capitalistic society, it goes to a young woman thinking, well, this is one way I can make a living.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Black on Purpose Television News Center with this breaking news. I'm sorry to inform you that authorities have identified the body of Vernisha Woodard. According to police reports, the burnt body previously found in a wooded area in Hapeville, Georgia, is in fact none other than Miss Woodard. Witnesses last saw Vernisha getting into a car with a man believed to be Fulton County Police Officer Tyree Reyna. By all accounts, Officer Reyna was considered to be a model officer and a good citizen. It is obvious that his superiors and fellow officers may have incorrectly judged his character. Our sincere condolences here at Black on Purpose Television go out to the family of Vernisha Woodard, who is survived by her mother and her young daughter. Murders like these are happening far too often in this country. We need to take a good look at how we allow social media to influence our lives. We know now that Vernisha met her date on the controversial website Backpage.com, a social site that allows for bad men to exploit young women through personal ads in their escort column. As a Black woman, I find these killings even more disturbing because it does not appear to be a great concern from other media outlets. The Black constabulary or law enforcement. I'm puzzled. Will someone tell me? What happened to Black Lives Matter? Or is that just a slogan for young men shot by police? We will bring you new information on this case as we learn more details. I'm Kim Sanders, and this is Black on Purpose Television with breaking news.
Who was your mommy?
My mom was Vernisha Woodard.
Tell me about your mommy, baby.
My mom was funny, and she would always make me laugh.
Vernisha Woodard was a young lady in Atlanta, Georgia, who's a mother of a single mother, one child, 25 years old, beautiful sister, who got caught up in the escort business. We have our children today seem to think that sex for money is a natural thing. And unfortunately, Vernisha Woodard gets caught up in Backpage or taking out ads on Backpage. She meets a gentleman online and they begin to text one another about what the girls call a date. The two exchange pleasantries. And then he, for some unknown reason, strangles her, shoots her 3 times, and then sets her body on fire. We later found out that it was an Atlanta police officer who gets arrested trying to escape the country, actually, at Atlanta's airport. He was trying to fly into Mexico.
How do you feel about the man that took mommy away from you?
I don't like him, but it would make me feel better if I could know why.
Do you understand the things that happened when you hear people talk about what happened?
Yes, I understand.
And how does that make you feel? What do you think about the details of what happened?
I feel that it shouldn't have happened, and it makes me feel a little angry and a little sad inside.
Of Backpage.com.
The first time I heard of Backpage.com was when my daughter asked me to pay for her to put an ad up.
Ma, I need a favor from you.
What is it, Niecy?
I want to post an ad on a website, but I need you to use your computer to do it.
What kind of site is it?
Well, it's called Backpage. All the girls are using it these days, Ma.
Backpage? Is this about you prostituting? I don't want no trouble.
You won't get in any trouble. The website is legal. Plus, it's a way for me to meet more people and make more money.
Since when did prostitution become legal in Georgia, little girl?
We call it escorting. And we don't promise to have sex with these men. It's just expected. All we promise is a good time.
Now you know I know better than that, right? Look, I don't want the police coming to my house because of this mess. How much does it cost anyway?
Not much, but you don't have to pay for it. I have the money. All I need you to do is post it. Please. Please.
How will you start it?
Yes.
What was your response?
When she asked me the first time, I already knew what she was doing, so I just pulled it up. As far as the media attention, they basically just put her out there as a prostitute, and they didn't think about nothing else about her daughter, about her family, and every trial, every hearing I've gone to, there was no media. And I felt like they just swept up under the rug.
How do you feel about mommy's boyfriend at the time? How was he towards you?
He was nice.
How do you feel about him? Are you mad at him?
No, I kind of miss how we used to go on walks sometimes.
At a young age, Zanaya knew that her mother was a working girl. In her relationship with her boyfriend, Vernisha figured out a way to get Zanaya out of the hotel room that they were living in. They did this by Zanaya taking walks as Vernisha entertained a client. Because of cocaine and bad relationships, sometimes young women don't make the best decisions.
Yeah, baby, I'm available. How long do you want me for? Okay, 30 minutes, that'll be 100 roses. What? Yeah, I am 420 friendly. As a matter of fact, that'll be a great way to get this started. Okay, see you in 40 minutes. Bye. Got a date, baby.
So, I gotta take a walk at 2 in the morning, Nisha? I mean, we said you wasn't taking no more late night appointments. And where the hell am I supposed to take the baby at 2 in the morning?
You don't have to do that. You can put her in the tub on my dates here. She'll sleep through the whole thing.
Is you crazy? So you want me to take the baby out the bed and put in a tub while you in the other room fucking another nigga?
Do you have a better idea? Because he's on his way. And you can't take my baby out of here like it's 6 p.m.
Then don't take it. It's too late.
And how we going to pay the hotel bill in the morning? Yeah. We used up all the money on cocaine. And if we don't have it in the morning, we will be back on the streets. And then what? Maybe if you got a job or got an apartment, I wouldn't have to do this shit. We've been in a hotel for a fucking year.
Yeah, well, I get a job, but I'm too busy watching Yo Baby. And please, don't make it all about the money, because you a damn nympho and you like all this sex shit anyway.
Don't give me that lame ass excuse. Carlos, grown men getting money, get jobs. But you walk around here like a little ass boy instead of a grown ass man.
Yeah. But if I leave your ass, then what the fuck you gonna do?
Then I'ma be by my motherfucking self, like I've been from the beginning. Me and my damn baby. You think I like doing this shit? You think I like fucking these weird ass, lame ass punk boys? I don't like this, but I do what I gotta do.
Alright. We're gonna put the baby in the tub, Nisha. But this shit right here, this gonna stop.
Then get a job or some fucking money.
What was the last day that you spent with your mommy?
I think it was movie night because we stayed up late and watched TV.
Do you remember the television show?
We were watching Cartoon Network because they were running movies like Scooby-Doo and stuff.
Okay. Do you remember the last movie you watched with her?
I think it was the Scooby-Doo where it's not animated. and they go back to it's the end of the school year, and it's in the summertime.
Where's your mommy now, baby?
In heaven.
She's in heaven. If you could say anything to her right now, what would you say?
I would say that I love her.
You love her?
And I wanted her to come back home.
What did your mommy want you to be when you grow up?
She said I could be anything I put my mind to.
What do you want to be?
There's a lot of stuff I haven't really decided. One thing I really want to be is the first black female president of the United States of America.
That's a great goal, baby. If you could say anything to your mommy right now, what would you like to say?
I'll see her soon.
2 years ago, Vernisha was shot and set on fire by a police officer that I'm recently told had been part of her life for a few months.
What Tareen Rana does to Vernisha Woodard is one of the most despicable acts in the history of law enforcement.
Family and friends, once again, we have terrible breaking news. Local authorities have found the body of Cynthia Worthy, a beautiful 23-year-old woman from Flint, Michigan. We here at BOP TV have been tracking these horrible killings for the last 3 years, and they are all connected to this one site. After reporting on these crimes, what I want to know is, what the hell is going on? How many times do I have to come on this station to report on the death of a defenseless black woman without someone in authority doing something about it? Where's the community outrage? Where's the strong black man to protect these girls? No, I'm serious. Who is supposed to protect the black woman if not our men? Every last one of these women were killed by men of color. Are you telling me that we can't be safe with our own men? Why can't we get rid of this Backpage.com? I wonder if there were a sorority of dead white co-eds from Oral Roberts University, if there would be a greater outcry for the end of Backpage.com. We here at BOP TV once again want to send out our condolences to the family of Cynthia Worthy. We pray that the Creator holds her close. I'm Kim Sanders from Black on Purpose Television. Thank you.
Unlike many women who were utilizing Backpage.com, Cynthia's mother and father was aware of it. We know that they had a conversation where they sat down and asked her to step away from that lifestyle. Cynthia said that she was going to step away. So we really don't know what was the pull that got her back into the business. We also know, because of the conviction, that she met Jerome Moore.
Baby, what are you doing?
What do you mean, Mom?
You know what I'm talking about. What is Backpage?
It's just a dating site that young girls go on to get dates.
Girl, this ain't no dating site. This site is for solicitation and prostitution.
It's not a big deal. It's not like I'm a hooker or something. I just use it to get a little extra change. That's all.
And what do you have to do to get this extra change?
Come on, Mom. We're all adults. A little something something.
Something something? What is that? I want to know what you're doing with these grimy ass men for that extra change, as you say.
It's a little adult entertainment. That's all.
Young lady, you are smart. And you can do anything you want in this life. Please don't put yourself out like this. This is dangerous.
If it bothers you that much, I'll quit. It's no big deal.
I'm gonna hold you to your word, baby.
After promising her parents that she would no longer use the services of Backpage.com, Cynthia Worthy found herself in the company of career criminal Jerome Moore, who later accepted a plea bargain for the murder of Cynthia Worthy. Her body was later found in an alley with a stab wound.
What's up?
Hey, I'm waiting.
Come in.
I personally do not want to say that it was black men's fault, but I think that's just because of my own family and that my grandfather was white. So
somewhat in a way, I do believe that it's a failure of black men because all children come from a male and a female. And I believe that fathers should teach their daughters how to fight, whether or not, it just be for protection or how to fight in life in general. So when you lose 14 black girls, it also brings me back to the girls in Africa who were kidnapped and you can't find them. So there's the fact that they're kidnapped and you don't know what happened to them. It's like, as a black man, what did you teach her daughter to do? Did you teach her how to keep moving or just to push it, keep it into the back of your mind and act like nothing happened?
Mm-hmm. So I'm very thankful for my dad and my mom, who's taught me how to, she's like, gave me information about what's going on in the world. She's always telling me, Janai, do not do this, do not go places alone because you might get this or you might get that, you might get touched in a certain way, do not do that. So I'm very thankful to have parents like that. But for kids who don't have a father, and some do not have a mother, it's very sad to me because they don't have the opportunity to know what not to do and what to do.
I think that black men do play, a huge role in, the 14 women getting killed and whatnot. But we can't, I know some people are probably thinking like, oh, black men aren't like this, you can't stereotype black men, but you all fall in that same category. And you have to, when you see something is wrong, you have to be the change and you have to fix it. Because some of us, don't have fathers in our lives that, are there for us every single day, that, call us every single day. But some other people's fathers step up to the plate and are like, I see you struggling, I see where you are in your life, and I want you to know that you're beautiful in every single way, which is what we need to be told as black women. We need to be told that we're beautiful. We need to be told that, you shouldn't fall for less than what you are. You're worth so much more than what you could ever imagine.
First, as a black society's problem. I wouldn't even say society as a whole, because we've already seen he don't really give a damn about us anyway. So we can't say, oh, it's a societal issue, because they don't care about us. Did they ever?
It is a phenomenon. I grew up in a time when what's known as the silent generation, and let me break that silent generation down. We may have been in the houses with our grandmothers, our aunties, our uncles. One of them may have been babysitting us, and they may have known, but as soon as we said, oh, he touched me, don't you tell nobody what goes on in our house. What goes on in our house stays in our house. Don't you tell nobody.
From the trouble that was going on in your life, and you found the protection of your father. Can you explain that wonderful time in your life?
I don't know if we call that protection, because I ran away to my father. And on the day that I got there, the next morning I was taking a shower and my father raped me. I was 13 years of age. My father raped me because he said he needed to know that I was telling the truth.
What responsibility do Black men have in protecting Black women?
Black men should take on anybody that threaten our Black girls. They should be our leaders in society in taking care of our girls. We have daughters, we have sisters. As fathers, they have got to pay close attention to their daughters. They know the ropes. They know what's going on out in the street, so they can teach our girls.
Well, I kind of feel like it's a problem for me and a couple of my other friends that I can speak of. If we see a Black prostitute, we just look at it like, hey, it's whatever. But when we see it, I'm talking about Fulton Industrial. We go on Fulton Industrial, we see a whole bunch of Black prostitutes, and we just be like, hey, whatever. But when we see a white prostitute, we be like, what's she doing out here? To be honest, that's a real psychological problem. If I could look at my own race and just be like, oh yeah, she doing her thing, but if I see a white girl doing it, it's still, I'm looking at it as it's taboo. It's still the same thing. It's still bad, but still, it's that mindset that people put us in. Like, it's crazy. Like I said, like he said, there's white prostitutes that's being killed and they report it. I know they report it. They make television shows out of it. And you start feeling bad for old Becky. I'm just saying, you start feeling bad for it. But you get a couple Black prostitutes that are being killed, oh, it's a norm. Or you see a prostitute working on the corner on Fulton Industrial, oh, it's a norm.
America, we have some terrible news. Authorities have found the bodies of 6 murdered Black women in an abandoned house in Gary, Indiana. All 6 women were using the controversial website Backpage.com. Thanks to a courage of one woman, the beautiful 19-year-old Africa Hardy, who also was using Backpage, we now know about this abandoned site and these women. Africa lost her life in a death struggle with the serial killer Darren Dion Van. Mr. Van is a sinister sociopath and a career criminal in multiple states. Africa's body was found in a bathtub at a Motel 6 in Hammond, Indiana. Authorities found her cell phone on Darren Van's person. After a successful interrogation by the Hammond authorities, Mr. Van led police to a vacant house in Gary, Indiana, where they discovered 6 more bodies. What all these women have in common is that they were all using Backpage.com to shop their services as escorts for hire. Africa's murder brings the total killed escorts on Backpage.com to 14 in the last 3 years. You know what? I'm sick of this shit. Where is the public outcry for these young women? Where's the national media coverage? These are sisters, mothers, daughters. They are American citizens that have not been fully appreciated or properly mourned by this nation. Why was there a louder outcry for the prosecution of Michael Vick than there was for these women? Let's keep it real. It seems like there's more sympathy for a damn dog. Does Becky with the good hair have to die before we can bring about the destruction of Backpage.com? Why does the police use this website for sting operations? Don't they realize that they are dangling these girls as live bait? Family, we are talking about a national epidemic. 14 women in 3 years. And those are the lives that we know of. In Atlanta, there's a policeman on trial for killing Vernisha Woodard and 2 more serial killers in the Midwest. What's it going to take to wake up this nation to the fact that black girls die too? Whenever there's a terrorist attack around the world, the media goes into a frenzy. But let a dozen black girls get tortured and there's a complete media silence. Let the truth be told. This is impersonal, insensitive, inconceivable, intolerable bullshit. I'm Kim Sanders from Black on Purpose Television, and I'm out. Now get the damn camera out my face.
Full name is Lori Townsend, Lori Townsend.
And where are you from?
Originally from Chicago, Illinois. Currently live in Denver, Colorado.
Lori, why are you here today?
I'm here to be the voice and to tell the story of my daughter, Africa. I called cousin Latasha, and I haven't talked to her in a couple years. And I said, hey, what's going on? Got a message that I need to call you about Africa. And can tell you exactly how the conversation went. She's like, yeah, we just came back from Lake County, Indiana. I was like, oh, okay. She's like, yeah, we had to identify Africa's body. I didn't think anything of it. I said, Lake County, for what? She said, Lori, we had to identify Africa's body. They found her in a hotel room. I couldn't comprehend. All I heard her say was, they found Africa. I didn't know if she, I didn't know what, I didn't know what happened. And I kind of like blacked out. My fiance picked up the phone and said, what's going on? And he hung the phone up. And I started screaming and he's like, what's wrong? I said, they say Africa's dead. And cousin Latasha called back and she said, yeah, they found Africa in a hotel in the bathtub. She was strangled.
Africa Hardy is a 19-year-old student from Denver, Colorado, who goes to Chicago, Illinois for school. Her mother sends her off to college. On the weekend, it appears that her and a couple of friends were utilizing Backpage Escort Division to make a little extra money. Just want to be honest about it. She also has a date with a gentleman named Vaughn.
He had the girl that Africa was dealing with, working with, was texting Africa. Africa wasn't responding back to the text messages. So the young lady went to the hotel room, went inside and found Africa.
What's your name, sweetie?
My name is Africa Hardy.
Do you know why you're here?
Yeah, my mom thinks I'm a drug addict, but I'm not.
Why would your mom think you're on drugs?
I don't know, ask her. The last time we spoke, she said I looked bad.
Does saying you look bad mean you're on drugs?
I don't know. People are always trying to tell me what to do with my life. If I want to do a little meth, big fucking deal.
Africa, don't you think that doing meth, even a little bit, is counterproductive and bad for your health?
I mean, I don't do it all the time. I mean, just when I'm partying with friends, you know, hanging out and kicking it.
So the last time you saw your mom, she was complaining.
Yeah, she wanted me to go live with my aunt, but that wasn't possible.
Why was that impossible?
Because she has all these ancient rules about me being home at a certain time and respect. I'm a grown woman, and I should be able to come home whenever the fuck I want.
Africa, we all have rules to follow. And when you stay with someone, you have to follow their rules.
I know, and that's the reason why I left, because I did not want to disrespect her.
So you end up in Chicago.
Yeah. My mom sent me here to get my life together.
How's that going?
Well, I lost my photo ID and all my documentations, and now I'm hooking just to make a little money.
Did you say hooking?
Yeah. I'm an escort. I'm a prostitute. I'm selling pussy. I'm doing what I need to do to get by. I'm broke and Chicago's expensive.
A young lady as smart as you can find work. This can't be your only option.
Maybe. But there are millions of people in Chicago with college degrees that can't find work in their field. I'm a drug user that can't pass a drug test. So I said, fuck it. I'm gonna use what I got to get what I want.
Africa, I have to tell you that I legally have to warn you about admitting to crimes in session.
Crimes? I sell pussy to upscale men who are tired of their wives. I check them out, and they come. And I do mean come. And then I send them on home to wifey. And then I got $200 in my pocket, and nobody gets hurt. So let me ask you, what's the crime in that?
Africa Hardy was found dead in a hotel room bathtub in Hammond, Indiana. She had been strangled and smothered by her upscale gentleman, a man who happened to be a repeated sex offender. To Africa's credit, she fought back bravely, creating such a messy crime scene that police were able to track down her killer, Darren Dion Van. Because of Africa's struggle, Darren Van led police to 6 other bodies, all murdered. How many more women have to die connected to Backpage before the American public says no more?
Listen to me, or we'll kill you, bitch.
Sometimes the sex is good, but normally they bust a nut in 3 minutes. So I get 60 minutes of pay for 3 minutes of play. You do the math.
Bitch. Die.
Crimes? upscale men who are tired of their wives. I check them out, and they come. And I do mean come. And then I send them on home to wifey. And then I got $200 in my pocket, and nobody gets hurt.
This is Darren Dion Van, convicted sex offender and admitted killer of Africa Hardy.
Why do you think that this story is not being covered more nationally?
I think it's pretty obvious, isn't it? I mean, you have a young woman, they're not white, they're not cheerleaders at a university or a high school, and they operate on the fringes of society. They got problems. They have no advocates. Nobody's standing up for them, and so they're vulnerable, and they're easy targets. And I think that the Johns that picked them up and murdered them, these serial killers, realize that. You know, they prey on them.
In the last 3 years, rather, 13 black women have been murdered. And we didn't know it. But if it was 13 white women, we'd know every detail. They wouldn't leave out anything.
I'm incensed by the notion that I didn't know this before today. And so my anger is twofold, because I'm angry with the fact that this is happening, and that I'm angry that this could be happening right now to girls in my church, my own daughter, my nieces, and I don't know it. It's frightening.
It had been 13 white girls instead of it being 13 black girls, it would have been all over the news. As a matter of fact, it probably would have been even an act of Congress to change laws and to do whatever. We certainly would have known about it. And as someone said earlier, how important are our black lives to the media? How important are we? Are we just a statistic, or we certainly not? We're certainly not looked in the same vein as our counterparts would have been looked at. So to me, I guess the question I would ask: how important are black lives to our communities, to our legislatures, to those that are in high places?
The fact that there were women who were murdered by black men primarily, that outrages me. And I think that when we want the media to be responsible to tell our story when we are killing ourselves, I have a problem with that. So for me, the conversation is also centered around where are the men for the boys and where are the men for the girls?
The Bible says that our prices are far above rubies. So how do I put myself on something called Backpage? There's something even wrong with the name Backpage. Backpage says get to the back of the bus because you ain't good enough to be on the front of the bus. How do we deal with our girls and their mindset, that we change the mindset so that they stop devaluing themselves and selling their bodies? And what about our brothers? How is it that one man can kill 7 people and have them in a basement and nobody else knows about it? Where was the media with this? We were upset about Chandra Levy when she died, and of course we should be, but what about Africa? What about all of these names? What about Danisha and Daquisha and Shaquan and Nene and Kiki and all? What about them? What they matter. If Black Lives Matter, they matter now, they matter then, and we have to stop just talking about it and do something about it, because we can't wait for Channel 11 Alive News or Fox News to do something about it. They're not going to talk about our stories.
I too am saddened by the news that we're hearing today.
I implore you to do two things, and I think that we all can do these two things. Keep your eyes open.
Yes.
Your eyes and ears open, and sometimes you have to take mentoring to another level.
I can say Sandra Bland, but I don't know who these 13 women are, and they're my sisters. I think I want to echo the sentiments of all of my sisters who've gone and shared before me, that we have to value lives. Black lives matter. I can't couch Black lives matter into all lives matter, although all lives do matter, but I have to specifically say that Black lives do matter.
If it had been 13 white girls, we wouldn't be here. We would not need a documentary. We would not have a need for this discussion, because those situations would have been made public and we would have known about what was going on.
I think that we devalue our own selves, and we don't value because they were caught up in this prostitution. That means, well, maybe they meant for that to happen, or they should have put themselves in that situation. So we're afraid to get out there and protect them or say anything because it's gonna make us look certain kind of way, or how dare we get out here and protect the prostitutes, and we pastors on the TV and we don't want them, oh God, no, we don't want them to think we advocating for the prostitutes.
I think, and it was alluded to earlier, that our communities have changed greatly. And so if we look at, and I don't say integration because we do not live in an integrated society in terms of race and or class. So when we look at our segregated society, there were neighborhoods where we would all live together, right? So the judge would live next to the criminal and that sort of thing. And the difference between then and now is that we saw ourselves as one. And so I think Nicole made a very good point when she said it's not those kids. We have to see our community as our community.
Now, because I can't allow another 13. I can't.
That's right.
I cannot allow another 13 to be involved in this Backpage. Whatever I have to do to help shut it down, if it's still up, we need to shut it down. Whomever we need to email, whomever we need to talk to, whomever we need to protest to, it needs to be shut down. This is ridiculous that we're still talking about these women, these 13 women, 3 years, and this site or whatever it is still up and running. That's ridiculous. So whatever we need to do to get together to shut it down, we need to shut it down first, and then we can work on the other girls later to make sure we don't have an additional 13 dealing with what we're hearing today.
Question, Brittany. So when we talk about Black lives versus white lives, we know that Black women's lives has less value historically and even now today in context, because people see Black women as the mammy, as the Hottentot, as the one who is supposed to take care of the world, because a lot of people have called her the mule of the world. So Black women, when you see them, people don't appreciate the wealth and the wisdom that they bring to the table. They see us as people who just bear children, who breed. Sometimes being single Black women, we have been taunted and called all types of names. And so had this been white women, they would have been held, because white women, even during colonial times, were considered precious, were considered the ideal woman. And so when you see a Black woman, you see servitude, you see someone who's supposed to be in the backdrop. And so because of that, we have not given the type of attention to Black women that it needs. And so it's not just a racial thing and a gender thing. For Black women, it encompasses all of it, because Black men get attention when they're killed on the street. White women get attention when they are screaming for equal rights or equal pay for equal work. But Black women, because we are almost like a double jeopardy, Black and female, we're always at the bottom of the barrel. And so we don't get the type of attention that we need in this society.
An undeniable fact that we all need to come to grips with is that our children see sex and sex trafficking today quite differently than we saw it 20 years ago. Online pimping has changed the way our children view the dangers of sex exploitation.
Hell yes. There's a huge difference, because then it wasn't acceptable, and now it is acceptable. Everything that young girls see from them here, it encourages you to do what you have to do to get what you got to get. so it's acceptable now, and it wasn't then. So it's a huge difference between what my grandmom thinks of, I'll say, tricking off, and what tricking off actually is to a young girl.
Well, basically, we were just up there dangling. Like, we didn't really have a mission. We were just dangling. And we had ended up going to this one trap, and they were over there, and they were like, well, why don't y'all go on the page? So we were like, what's the page? We didn't know what that was. So then they ended up putting us on to this other guy, and he took us out to this room. It was called the Hawthorne Suites. And that's when we started working.
Now, the first time you did it, explain how it went down and what was your experience.
The first call that I did? Okay, well, it was my friend's call, but when he got there, he ended up wanting two. And that was her first call, too. So we did it, and then after, everything was done, we didn't know to get the money first because it was the first time. So after we did it, then she went, as he was walking out the door, she was like, where's the money? He ended up pulling a gun out.
Okay, what happened? You pulled the gun?
He walked out. He was at the door. He was basically like, you're not getting any money.
So he didn't pay y'all that time?
No.
Okay.
And she was done after that.
So
she was straight. Yeah.
Okay. So now, this guy who told y'all about the page, did he show you how to get on the page?
No, he put us on the page.
Okay, he put you on the page. So, did you know you were getting put on the page?
Yeah.
Okay.
I knew that we were being put on some type of website.
Okay, and you were okay with it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know any better.
Okay, so help me understand how you made it okay in your mind to have sex for money.
I'm already doing it for free. Why not make a profit?
Okay. And how much, when did you say, hey, this is enough for me to keep doing this?
When I saw the money start piling up, and I had never made no money like that.
Okay. Now, the first couple times, did you get to keep all the money?
No, because with him it was 60-40.
Okay. And then you decided what? I don't want the 60-40 thing anymore.
I decided I was that's when I decided to bust up and go to Atlanta.
What is the essence of pimping?
And I've never really contemplated it prior to the question as to the essence of pimping. But if I had to define it from the standpoint of the mindset that I function under at this point, a pimp is nothing more than a parasite who lacks drive, he lacks goal orientation, he lacks morals. He's an apathetic parasite.
When you're working, when you were working with him, was it every day, 5 days a week, 7 days a week? What?
Pretty much every day.
Every day? How long every day?
It varied from morning to night whenever you get calls.
Okay. Did you have to split with him?
Yeah, 50-50.
50-50 with him. Okay, so at what point did you make up in your mind that this was okay to do? Like when did you, we all get raised with this, shouldn't have sex, do this, that. When did you say it's okay to do this?
I don't really know when I said it was okay, but the money made it feel okay, like, if that makes any sense.
Okay. At any point did you enjoy having sex with all those different people?
I mean, not everybody that comes in, that swings my door is gonna be, the best ever.
Right. But did you ever enjoy it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's still, sex.
Okay. So, at some point, do you still enjoy it to this day?
It depends on who swings my door.
Okay. How long do you ever see yourself getting out of the game?
This is a temporary stepping stone.
Okay. So
this isn't my forever.
How long have you been doing this? Since you were 17 and you're how old now?
19.
19. Since you were 19?
Yeah.
And you're how old now?
22.
So when do you see yourself? Like you said, not forever, just a stepping stone. When do you see yourself?
The maximum is 25.
Because in the 70s, when you had your established or routine host roles, the type of women that were into prostitution, had your streetwalkers, or what you call your flatbackers. Then you had another upper echelon that called themselves call girls. I guess you would call the call girls the forerunners of the online prostitutes.
What's the worst situation you ever found yourself in?
I was pistol whipped.
Tell me about that.
Well, I had had a bad vibe about him, but I was having a lot of action. I had a lot of clients that day, so I really wasn't fazed about one customer. So he said he was downstairs, and he was down there for a couple hours, but he was just down there because I didn't think that he needed to come up. So he had went over and got some food, and I was like, okay, well, you can come up if you bring me some food. And I let him come up, and he came up the side stairs, and he was dressed in all black. He had black gloves on, and at first I was like, why do you have gloves on? He said, I have a germ problem. I'm like, this guy's weird. So then I opened the door, and I still had a bad vibe. I was like, are you okay? But he shoved the food he gave me the food and the money quick. Like before I even closed the door, he was like, here you go. And I was like, this is weird. Then I was like, let me check you. Like, you need to take your coat off. There's something about you. So he's like, I'm good. I'm like, you know what? Here, you can take this. I'm straight. You can go. He's like, I'm good. So finally, I shut the door. He flipped the lights off, and that's when it started.
What started?
Him attempting to rob me.
Okay, so how did he try to do that?
He pulled a gun out.
And did he just aim it at
He
you?
went, first he was like, where's the money? And my first instinct is like, I got a pimp, I don't hold money in my room.
That's what you told him?
Yeah.
Okay. And then what happened?
He was like, he's still looking because he was in disbelief. So he went looking through the drawers, the travel books, everything. And I told him I didn't have any money in my room. And then I was loud too, like, when you're freaking out when you got a gun pulled to you. So then he threw me on the bed, and he had the gun, but he wasn't talking about nothing. But then when he realized he wasn't going to get any money, he was like, where's your phone? Because my phone kept ringing. I was like, I don't know. I think it's in the coat in the closet. So I go over there, and I run for the door. I open the door. He catches me, and he pushes the door back open. So then he pulls me back in the room. The bathtub was full of water because I had just got out of it. He threw me in the bathtub and started just pistol whipping me. I just remember smelling metal and blood, and then hearing that water like, this may be it. He pulls me out the tub. I hit the toilet, and I go under the sink, and he ran out.
You didn't report that, huh?
No.
Is that the only violent situation you've ever been in? Did you think of?
Yeah.
That's the only one? Never? Anybody else try to hurt you or harm you?
Mm-mm.
Why, after that violent situation, that happened? I mean, did you think, you said you thought that was going to be it? You thought you were going to die?
Yeah, because if he would have hit me in the right spot and not pulled me out of that water, I could have drowned.
So why did you stay in? Why wasn't that enough for you to get out and say, I can't do this anymore?
It's like, not every day is going to be a good day at work. Sometimes you go through some stuff. So I guess I just kept it pushing.
So what other type of men have you seen in the business or that solicit young women for prostitution? What are the most men that you frequently see?
I've been with the postman, and I've been with a professional football player. You don't know what you're going to get.
Can you give me some other titles?
Doctor, lawyer, teacher.
Anybody in the clergy business?
A monk.
What do we need to do as a community to curtail this epidemic?
We've got to come together. Mm-hmm. We've got to make this issue known. We've got to talk about it. Mm-hmm. We've got to have meetings, have town halls. We've just got to get the information out. Mm-hmm. Because so many people don't know about the Backpage murders. Mm-hmm. And so, as legislators, as community leaders, we can bring people together to talk about this.
I will
never understand how a black man, going back to the guy who killed those 7 girls and those 14 girls, I will never understand how a black man can stare into the eyes of a melanin-clad young girl and not see your mother, and not see your aunt, and not see your sister, and just not even look at her as a human being and shoot her or kill her in cold blood. How do you not feel that? How do you not feel pain? How do you not feel guilt? And you do that walking away with no remorse. I will never understand that.
According to blackandmissing.org, there are over 64,000 missing black girls in America, and this number continues to climb each year. At some point, we have to collectively ask ourselves, what are we doing to protect our women and girls from this societal ill? Through public policy and education, we can fight to save our girls. However, as a nation, we can defeat anything, and that includes sex trafficking.
This is the face of the new frontier of online sex trafficking and sex exploitation. It could be your neighbor, it could be your doctor, your babysitter. What we do know is that our children face sex exploitation in ways we never dreamed of. So if we are going to bring an end to online brothels that use sex exploitation and sex trafficking around the world, we must all come together. For all